Vincent.
Leroy.
Mike.
Ken Hall.
Jim.
Steve Jones.
Anybody have anything to say before we turn it over to the formal thing? Ray's supposed to be in and talk about a get together. You guys, if anybody read their meeting notes, which were distributed.
Yeah, I did.
They were distributed, yes. Ray's looking for people to put together robots, it looks like, this weekend.
I will smash mine with a hammer.
Don't
I
smash
thought
it.
he was on the road this week.
He's supposed to be here.
Ray said he was going to be here.
How'd the pumpkins go?
Fine, great.
Well, pumpkins were smashed.
Successful, yeah.
There we go. One guy caught it.
But the dog stole the show because we made a custom of a lion.
Oh, a
The
lion?
golden retriever, yes. It was amazing.
Ah, well, that's good.
In our dog parade, we have a lady who has 2 big German Shepherds.
Okay.
And last year, she went to the dog parade and dressed them up like sheep.
Great.
And she was broken.
I used to have a couple of German Shepherds.
Like sheep.
Wolf and lamb's
Well,
clothing.
yeah, the opposite.
It looked like a wolf and lamb's clothing.
Oh, okay. That would be, okay. But he had some very creepy pumpkins. It kind of creeped me out, and I'm an adult.
We had a cartoon from last year, a video from last year that I really loved. It was the mutant spider dog.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I sent that. The link may still be there.
Is that the one in the subway?
He did a subway, yeah.
Elevator.
Yeah, and the elevator was really good.
The elevator.
The lady opens the door and there's a guy laying in the floor with a mutant spider on top of him. Spider dog. It was really cool.
Doing the things a spider can.
So I left the link.
That looks just like a lion.
And he loves the custom.
Oh, yeah.
That's well done.
It's a golden retriever.
Oh, yeah.
With the lion
That's cool.
custom.
That's nice. Why don't you put it up on the screen? Too much trouble?
It's working the Chromecast.
Yeah, Chromecast is working. At least it is for now.
Okay. It's your
And
time.
your name is?
James.
James? Okay.
There's a bunch of Jims in James's.
Yeah.
Good
There it goes. Anybody have anything else coincidental?
And Ray.
And Ray, here's
Ray.
the late
There he
Ray,
The Phantom.
the Phantom.
Yeah, I came here because I was looking for Raspberry Pi stuff for a long time. There's been nothing on Meetup. So I was surprised to see the announcement this time.
Okay.
And it just so happens I have an alternate method for getting onto this.
Oh, SD cards.
For getting onto Wi-Fi. If you have some time, I'd love to show it to you.
Okay, do you want, how much time do you need? Oh, you're talking about
10 minutes.
the meeting? To show us in the meeting or show them individually?
Meeting would be fine, and visual would be fine, if anybody's interested.
Okay. We want to do that before or after?
Go ahead. Because basically, I kind of sort of forgot the HDMI cable and the other thing, so I can show you what I did, but I can't show you what I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, you ready? You want to do
Try that.
So I was stuck in a hotel room for 3 months, with a laptop and a Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
No keyboard, no monitor,
Oh, man.
and a Wi-Fi that required login and the password thing. And I had time on my hands, so I ended up writing a package. It's on there. It's called Comitup, C-O-M-I-T-U-P, that will look for an established Wi-Fi. It'll connect to it if it sees it. And if it doesn't find one that it knows, it creates its own Wi-Fi hotspot on the fly with a name that's predetermined. And you can go on the hotspot, go to a web page on the hotspot. It'll list all the hotspots that are available in the area. You can click on one, enter a password if you need to, hit on it, and everything moves over. So you can get up and running on your Raspberry Pi without ever plugging anything into it other than an SD card and a power cord.
Cool.
And it's available in Raspbian Stretch in the repository. That's a Jesse image right
Okay. I could not get Stretch to work correctly with the Zero.
It works fine. You have to have the Stretch that came out after the Zero did, after the Zero W did. It came out in March or something like that, right? And the older version, a new version of Raspbian came out the same day. If you use an older one, it will not work. You have to use the new one for it to recognize the Wi-Fi device.
Was using the one from September,
Last September or this September?
this September. It's the current version.
That's basically, well, no, I don't know if that's Jesse or not. I'm no longer sure what version I have on there. So the first time you fire up the thing, it goes through the business of creating his, expanding the partition, which takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
But after it's done, it creates a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it's there. If you go to your device, you can see that there's a CompUp-8794.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and connect to it.
Okay.
I'll do that too.
It should give me a Capture portal. There it is.
So if you go and it publishes an address on ZeroConf. So if you have a Mac device, it works great. If you have Windows, it doesn't work at all. If you have Android, it kind of works. But if you want to bypass all that, you can just go to the IP address, which is 10.42.0.1. I'm offline. What am I doing offline? When you get to it, you see this, which is a list of the hotspots.
What's the name of it?
What's the name of the package?
The hotspot.
The ComEd dash number.
8794.
Right there. Coming up.
It went dark on.
894.
I was gonna show it to Kenny.
So this is, it sets you up, it finds a hotspot and connects you up and finds a hotspot for you.
What's that address again?
10.42.0.1. I haven't done it yet because it'll go away once you select the hotspot. So you see that list. There's the list of the hotspots that it sees. There's a little lock icon next to the ones that need a password.
MPL public. Now that'll make MPL public a hotspot.
No, it will in turn connect to it
Oh, okay.
and drop the hotspot.
Oh, okay.
If you have two interfaces, it'll do both. It'll maintain the hotspot and it'll also create the connection on the other Wi-Fi device.
There's an 8266 application runs inside the 8266. Does I mean,
Wi-Fi manager.
Wi-Fi manager.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just like this.
What's it called?
It's
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi manager for the 8266
Oh, okay.
devices.
And the mobile,
Thank you, sir.
this is the public library
Mm-hmm.
here. If you connect to it, it's restricted as
Yeah, I can
hell.
see this.
Okay.
What's the other one there?
I don't know. HTTP63OBO.
You choose
I don't know what that
the-
is.
and put the-
Yeah, it works.
That's probably, that's maybe our Hutu router.
Well,
The HTB thing is
Hutu,
Hutu.
okay. That's our router right over there.
what shall I connect to?
Something like that for the ESP.
Oh, you can connect to the Hutu router.
This one?
Something
Yeah.
like this.
Okay.
You open a-
So it says press the connect button. It'll connect. It's going to terminate the hotspot and move
Okay.
over to that. So you connect. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you know something? I don't think it likes the underscore.
There's always some little.
There we go.
Always some.
crap.
All of them have underscores except for,
What's the name of the
All
server?
right, so I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
87.
fire up Juice.
How many clients?
I'm going to connect.
Come on.
everybody's on the phone.
Okay, I have a new one. I'm just gonna log on to it. Somebody has a better SSH. Does anybody have SSH handy that's connected?
If I connect here, then I lose.
So we'll go from there. There it is. So we connect, accept.
Lose the ability to do other things. Which isn't that big a deal. Nobody can see what I'm doing.
So I am logged on to it now with SSH. And I'll do a sudo su.
Can avoid the SU part, sudo -I.
I know, details. And I'm going to run the command line version of the guy because that whole problem has to do with,
That's Unix speak. I recognize Unix speak. That's
Yeah.
about it.
and I'm going to connect to
Windows
HT.
would be, why is Exchange doing that?
Windows speak. Where's my hammer?
Okay, one away.
It just went away, right? That's because it's connected up to the other Wi-Fi now.
He done did it. You done did
So
it.
now if you go to the other Wi-Fi, that's HT. Yeah, I got to fix that special character thing. I don't have any special characters at home. And if I go and I load up a zeroconf browser, I look at workstation, hasn't come up yet. The Chromecast. Sometimes this takes a minute.
So what is the advantage to me? I'm eventually going to be connected to the Mobile Public, to the public library, Midpoint Public Library, which I got to connect it to directly with that device. Why am I doing this?
I don't need, we haven't hooked up, I'm not using anything hooked up to that. I don't have a monitor, I don't have a keyboard. I don't have an Ethernet hooked up to it. I have it sitting with a power cord sitting on the shelf.
Okay, so you're just saying you can hook up a Raspberry Pi to anything, just stands alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I found the keyboard and the monitor to be a real barrier to entry.
Okay, so
Having
you
that
can-
space for that crap on my desk.
Now, the keyboard and the monitor would be going, okay, what were you doing? Were you programming this device? Was that your objective?
Yeah, I want connectivity to it. Now
Okay.
I can do things.
Now you can program it or whatever you want to do. Okay.
That was out of necessity, being in a hotel without any. So you,
Well, you can, I had Linux, so I could go and I could mount it and I could go make the changes to the files and do a Hail Mary and pray that I got all the editing right and plug it in and see if it worked. But that didn't seem like the right way to do it.
okay.
So once this Raspberry Pi is connected to that desired network,
Mhm.
you no longer have to try to connect to it.
No,
through
it's
its
done.
own.
It's
So you're actually going back through that network and coming back into
right.
it.
And it uses network managers, so the next time it sees that network, it'll connect
It'll
again.
connect right into it. Okay.
Oh, it is not showing up. I don't know why.
What What's not familiar?
I'm looking at the ZeroConf browser on
Oh.
on that Wi-Fi network, and I'm looking for that guy to show up, and he hasn't.
If you've connected to our router,
Mhm.
our router is notoriously slow.
Okay.
But he couldn't connect to that. It blew up. He went to the,
And if you've connected to
No, I did
Midpoint.
connect to it. I connected
oh,
to
you
it.
connect to it?
It-
Okay.
It's the web interface doesn't like special characters,
Oh,
so I
okay.
use the command line interface just to bypass that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's notoriously slow in, extremely fast out.
It sort of works, but
It's weird.
the
We
more
blame it for
clients that are
everything.
connected to it, the slower.
See, even he confirmed that there's something wrong with this outlet. over
Well,
there.
I don't know that it's a router. This might be my problem.
Oh, okay.
it's the
No, you gotta go along here. It's gotta be the router.
1, 2,
That's a-
3,
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 people sitting here telling you it's the
I've heard
router.
the constant dialogue
It's a
about the
crappy
mysterious
router.
Router.
It's the router.
It's not the router, it's the outlet. The Huku router is perfect.
Oh,
good.
no.
Name
It's the
brand
router.
Huku
every $35 best 35 what? You
That's
could
30
get.
bucks every.
What's the name of the device?
You want to shut it down, right? Or
The right
doesn't
Raspberry
matter.
Pi?
The Raspberry Pi is announcing itself as Comet Up Dash and then a 4-digit number.
No, but what's the host name of it? When you're connected
It's
to
in-
a dot local,
It's Comet Up Dash
Oh, okay.
4-digit number dot local. So if I go back to the Wi-Fi,
That 4-digit number is the last 4 numbers on the MAC address?
no, it's just random.
Random?
Yeah,
Hmm.
persistent but random. There it is. So
I
his
know
IP
on
address.
the 8266, it's using the last 4 on the MAC address.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what that would buy you, but you could do that. The
Or
IP
as in-
address now is 10.10.10.108, so you can connect to it there. And it also announces itself as Comet Up Dash 8794.local if you have ZeroConf support. So now you can use it. Connect to it, do whatever you want. So you'd like to play with it, there's a Comet Up website that has a Raspbian image with it already installed to solve the bootstrap problem. Or you can install the package from the Raspbian repository if you have Stretch. A lot of people are complaining about Stretch still.
I had problems with Stretch. I really did. So I went back to a Jesse image myself.
Okay. It worked first time on my Zero W once I used the version that came out after the W did. I've not tried it recently. I haven't tried it on the September image.
Yeah, the September image apparently is having some issues. Apparently.
So when you connect back to the 10.10.10.98, it comes back up again as Comet Up access point selection. Is there something else that's supposed to be in there?
Are you talking about the web interface? You don't need that anymore. Actually, that's a bug. It shouldn't be there. There should be no web browser right now. Right now, you can SSH into it and then use it that way.
Okay.
Okay, Ray, you want a 10-minute? You want 10 minutes?
There's the website for it. Please, or whatever, the GitHub repository.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one you were using?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my website, and if you scroll down a little bit, there's a couple of ways to get it. It tells you how to install it, or you can down there just download the image.
Oh, the torrents.
Woohoo!
And the PPAs.
Yeah, I was worried about too much bandwidth to my server, and it turns out that's not a problem at all.
Oh, so this is your GitHub?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It went right over my head.
You're at davesteele.github.io.
Yeah. Yep, that's you. Sorry, that really did. That was
So enjoy. It gets you past the communications problem. It lets you get on to doing real work.
Now, my problem is I'm in a similar situation. I live in a hotel right now.
Mhm.
They just added a captive portal for everything. So now I have to log in
Mhm.
every 24 hours. This
Okay.
doesn't defeat that problem, does it?
It does. If you have the second device, then you can do the CommoDup process, and when it does, it'll connect to the captive portal. It'll keep the Wi-Fi hotspot live,
Okay.
and so that you can go through the internet and use your laptop to authenticate, and the
Okay.
Pi can take advantage of that authentication,
Okay. I will try it.
and then you're connected through.
That'll work. So
You can, yeah, keep the SD card and enjoy.
bonus SD card. Woo! Thank you.
I was on
I will play around with it and give you some feedback or whatever.
Okay.
I was on a hotel hotspot like that, the captive portal, and at midnight, spit me out.
Really?
Yeah, most of them time out after
They'll time out.
12 hours or 24.
Mine's 24 right now.
It was
Kills
midnight.
everything,
It was, there you go, spit me out. I
Hey,
was right in the middle of stuff, and there you go. I was logged back in.
Yeah, now my standard connection is a Pi 3 with a second Ethernet on it. It adds another $5. And then just, that way I don't have to bounce around between, I don't have to do that bouncing between hotspots that I just did. It just stays on the old one.
Nice. Now I've got, I think I'm up to 4 Pi 3s now. I've got 4 zeros. I've got a couple of regular zeros without the Wi-Fi. And I don't know why. I
If
just
you want to be on the meeting announcement list, you can send.
So was that 1 for $10 or 2 for $20 each?
Or you walk in and then
Yeah.
you buy one, and then you walk back in and buy another one, and then you walk back in and buy another one.
Every time I go there, I tend to pick one up. You know, Microcenter's got them on sale for $5.
The
The
W's. The W's are on sale for $5.
Really?
Limit one.
Yeah.
It goes increasingly high
For
if
$20.
you buy.
Each.
One is $5, 2, 14,
Yeah.
and more than 5 is 19 each.
It
I would-
goes-
Some are, they make their money on the cases.
They change.
They make their money on the power supplies and the cases.
Yeah,
We did the same thing after hearing that. We did the same thing on our website. We put 1 lens for this price, 2 lens for, if we figure it out, you did it, we cancel your order.
I call someone to explain what's going on because I don't understand. One,
Because-
$5. 2, $14 each.
I can tell you
More than
why.
5, $19 each.
Otherwise, people would just buy a bunch of them.
Give me
and
one.
recycle them.
Because of the rarity of them, people would buy every one they had,
Yeah.
and sell them on the internet for a markup.
So, I would.
Oh, yeah, we know you would, Ray.
It's hard to believe they're making much profit at $5, $10.
Yeah.
This is the regular price. But they are selling for 5.
Because the original zeros were like that. There were periods where they got all bought up right away, and then there was a long stretch before they had manufactured more of them, and people were selling them on eBay at a premium.
They came with camera connector, and lately with the Wi-Fi also,
Right.
they're increasing the functionality,
Yeah, that's what Adafruit
the
does.
same price.
We don't have any, but if you want to buy a kit for
Right.
$50, we got
Yes.
it.
Yes.
All right. Are we ready for me? Did you say anything
I didn't say anything yet. I just said
about your
price is too high. I didn't say
About
He
the-
said you
the
want
robot
5
thing?
minutes and he never.
Saturday?
somebody continued on the previous conversation, so I just.
Well, say something about the robot thing.
All right, so, what I've done already is I contacted a robot club up in Dayton. It's basically a high school, and the high school. So this high school has a robotics club, and they're all their students that are in the club, the team leader, a couple parents, I think the team leader's spouse.
I'll save it for next year.
And those people, they're coming up to the warehouse, my warehouse office, and we're gonna have a day of putting together robots and programming Arduino and learning how to solder and stuff like that. So I know it's going to be at least 12 of the students, and these are high school level students, and like at least 6 adults. So I've already set up a whole bunch of tables. I bought new tables, new chairs, and set up a bunch of computers. I bought new solder stations. Tomorrow I'm probably going to spend all day lasering out robot kits for everybody to put together. The intention is that I want to learn from these students what kind of problems they're running into. You know, like, hey, we're looking at the instructions, but it skips a whole step. You know, how to do this, what to do this, how long is the wire supposed to be? How, you know, so we're going to be writing down all those questions that, you know, as normal assembly people, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. It never fazed me that they wouldn't recognize what a breadboard was. They're like, it's this big rectangular thing with a bunch of holes in it. How does it work? It's like magic.
Where do you get breadboard out of that?
It is magic.
Yeah. So they were just like, how does that do? And you know, just it's like there's ground everywhere. There's voltage everywhere. It just threw me because for the past 30 years I've known what a breadboard is. I just never. We're going to be trying to catch all those little things. And, you know, what do I need to describe on the website? What do I have to have a glossary section on the website? And to figure out what is this, what's that. And,
Are you gonna set up a camera to monitor the group?
We already have high def cameras. They're called the security system, so I can grab video off of that. But we do have 2 high def Canon cameras. We're going to be using on and off for video and pictures. Those pictures, you know, because we're going to have a variety of ages. Those pictures, we've already got photo releases from all the students, so that we'll be able to use their photos on the website. It shows, hey, these kids can figure it out. This kid can figure it out. So why not everybody else? And if you're in college in an engineering class and you're telling me you can't figure it out, I have a 12-year-old that can do it. Stop whining. Oh no, I've got a class of about 12 master's level students at Ashland University, and they're whining. We're not engineers. We can't figure this out. Are you really kidding me about this? You can't screw together the frames where it's not wobbling.
It's one of the simpler things to actually do.
I was. That's why most of those kits have 3 wheels, so they don't wobble. But there was one group that had a lawyer in it, and she was arguing every possible way that, well, I shouldn't have to do this. Like, you shouldn't have to do it. But you go through this for the learning experience to understand why other people have trouble, and for you to learn the bill of materials and the parts and the fit, the function, and the programming. For you to stop at halfway assembling the kit and then start to argue as a lawyer, you're trying to say, I want an A, but I don't want to do all the work. And here's why.
And she'd say, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You didn't do the assignments. That's why. So we're trying to make the assignment easier and easier to understand, and some things that people want to see, like the I2C backpack that goes on the back of an LCD. It goes on the back of the LCD, not slipped around the front backwards.
It doesn't use that transparent.
Over the screen.
It was just, when I saw it, they actually had to cut one of the pins in order to make it fit the wrong way. And I was like, what makes you think? Never mind.
Probably where I would be at.
And I put their kit down, and I picked up somebody else's kit, and I was like, oh, hey, you've actually been working on it. You soldered this and did this. So I was helping them. And like 5 minutes later, well, why didn't you help us with ours? Because you gave up at the beginning and didn't give a shit. That's why. So why should I help you if you don't care?
I record the meetings.
Anyway, the reason, I don't mean to curse, I'm not going to get loud, but we're doing this on Saturday. It's starting at about 1 o'clock. I'm buying food and drinks for anybody and everybody that shows up. You guys are invited to come either as your own level of student or
Did you say 1 o'clock?
About 1 o'clock.
Okay.
We're going to stay there until whoever wants to leave. So I'm thinking it's going to be anywhere from 6 hours for people to really go in, wire everything, assemble everything, and then I'm going to have some programs ready to drop in. And but I'd like to have them have some programs of their own. A couple of like, here, see if you can do this task. Turn my bug into a light-fearing, run to the wall and stop kind of thing.
Is the software already going to be loaded on the PC, or are they going to have to do that?
We are going to be loading the Arduino and fritzing onto each computer tomorrow. So they won't have to worry about that. They won't have to worry about the libraries. So we'll have those loaded tomorrow as well.
That's a good experience worrying about the libraries.
Yeah.
Making it work.
So it's not so bad.
I mean, you don't have enough time for that, but because most of the time when they get it, they're going to have to go someplace, GitHub, or go someplace and download it, and then get it installed, and then get it downloaded.
And we have to look at, are the tutorials descriptive enough that says, download it, here's method 1 of how to install the library, here's method 2 of how to install the library. But definitely, hey, a library exists, and you will need it in order to do I2C communications for the LCD. But almost everything else is pretty straightforward. So one thing we had considered was that if people wanted to come and contribute towards assembling robots and the ideology of what the problem is and contribute towards, hey, this is a tutorial, or I wrote a program while I was there, here's a copy of the program. We're going to not give away the robots, but definitely put them at a discount price so that somebody built that robot, they can take it home with them. So it won't be full price, it'll be closer to probably 60%, 40% off. So.
Cool.
Leroy's over there crunching numbers. What kind of price would I get this robot for?
Help me. Leroy doesn't need any more robots.
But if you already have your robot, then just bring it by and I'll get you a new frame for it.
Yeah, I need a new frame for the big one.
I'll get you a new updated frame for the robot. You can finish building it right there. You can help other students while you're there.
Yeah. I thought I would come, so.
Well, it's free food too,
Well, yeah.
Domino's Pizza.
Free food is the only reason why I want to go.
There's gonna be Domino's Pizza and was it marble brownies and pop.
He knows your weak spots.
Domino's Pizza. I'm all right.
Yeah.
1 o'clock, not noon.
If you want to show up at noon,
I already have a bunch of those. I don't think I need more of those. I already know Ray.
it's Saturday the 4th. It's this weekend. At 1 o'clock until late. So I'm not really giving it a cutoff time. I just, if they want to leave, they can leave.
I think my entire Saturday is filled now.
Yeah, I can come for at least a while. I know Patty works Saturday.
And appreciate some help, because there's going to be plenty of people that says, how do you do this, how do you do that, and where's that screwdriver, and show me how to solder
I
something.
can do screwdriver. Where's the screwdriver?
All right, if you want to stop by tomorrow, you can help me laser out kits.
I don't know if I can come tomorrow now. I think Saturday's good. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know anything anymore. I'm just here. Are we ready for me?
I'm ready.
Okay, you're up. Yep, Leroy.
All right. So, when was this? A couple weeks ago? I brought this robot in, and it's a Wi-Fi robot. When I brought it in the first time, I had it connected to a public MQTT broker.
There you
And using the little display to get the sensor data, it would display remotely, and the little toggle switch may go forward, backward, whatever. I've cleaned it up a lot since last week or 2 weeks
It
ago.
was a super cut, or you did it?
I just took a pair of dikes and cut it,
Start getting it out of the way.
and
This is that Polo Blue chassis.
that is a Pulu chassis. The cable that's on it now is Cat5 cable. Those are actually the right connectors for the wheel encoders, even though they still don't quite fit right. I think it's because my Cat5 is a little bit too long and it's pulling on it a little bit. So anyway, took this to the next level though. Got it off of the public broker, and I'm running an access point with a MQTT broker on the Raspberry Pi. So this doesn't connect to the internet. It's just designed to serve these devices. And actually, I'm blocking all the MAC addresses except for, there's actually 4 MAC addresses that it's not being blocked. I didn't set it up for the laptop, so I can't even connect to it with my laptop. The home computer, I can connect to it, and these 4 devices here, or 3 devices here, I can connect to it. So if anybody wanted to try, I've tried it with some other machines, so I know that it doesn't work, but if anybody wanted to try it, it comes up and it says robot AP. There's no password.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to connect, but you're not going to get an IP address. So, unless you clone the MAC addresses. So there's still a way to around it.
This is the D1 Mini with the dual board on the bottom?
It is a D1 Mini with a motor shield, the custom shield, and the dual base.
Cool. Gonna do this with one of my robots.
I was thinking the compact rover would be perfect for it.
You have more space on the Biddy, but yeah, go for it. Donate the Biddy robot,
But anyway.
or the compact.
So if you were here a couple weeks ago, that's also a little custom board that I built just to try to make it a little cleaner using Cat5.
What did Cat5 buy you with this thing?
Well,
The leads are
nothing.
short.
It's just convenient.
It's well, on that, it bought me the fact that it's all encased in, so it looks neater. On that, it was left over from that. That whole little board up there is just scrap that was left over.
Finally, you're using the encoder?
No.
No?
They work, the encoders
I
are
know.
working, but no, I'm not using them for anything. I'm sorry.
I know what it says.
And that's a little display on top there, right?
Yeah, little tiny,
Which is nice.
Debugging.
so if we turn, of course, that hasn't changed, that's just the
I
display.
think that for manual control, you don't need them, but you want to be autonomous, you will need the controllers.
I know it. I actually, so 2 weeks ago, I didn't have it do anything other than just be a remote. It's got a semi-autonomous mode now.
Is that a LiPo charger board?
Yes,
LiPo, battery, dual board, display, custom, and a
little toggle switch.
5-way joystick?
No, it's not a joystick. It's just a toggle
Five
switch.
switches.
It's a 5-way. If
Right,
everything's
down,
working,
left, center, up. That's not a toggle?
it's just a toggle switch. It's not a joystick. Joystick would be like analog. That's just
Well, some of the cheap joysticks
Up,
had just
down,
buttons on them.
yeah.
that's just a
Like
distance 20
Nintendo
minutes.
had just the little game pads yet, up, down, left, right,
Let me
jump.
see my remote. Let's set it into. Let's see if we can get it to go into autonomous mode and do something. So this thing is now connecting to the Raspberry Pi, and I'm getting all my data and everything. If I hit the button, I haven't tested this, so if this doesn't work, please grab my robot. Don't let it roll off the floor.
Probably won't roll off the floor.
Roll off the table.
I was giving you a clear path.
I think it's backing up way too much. It's blind backing up, right? Yeah, it's completely blind backing up.
But it likes to back up.
So this is just joystick, toggle control.
Fire lasers.
I'm using UDP.
Cool.
Did
Mhm.
you get you better response?
Much faster.
I'm only sending one packet at a time though. Because I found that if I send a bunch of packets, it floods it. And it disconnects.
How bad flooding?
Bad.
How big are the packets? I mean, are they bigger packets or
Yeah.
standard?
Let's see, there's
Pretty tiny.
200 characters, maybe.
Okay.
Because I'm actually trying to send everything as a number, and not an actual signal. So like
You can
A
pick up, you
forward-
can look at his code.
a
probably.
forward would be
He's a
a
GitHub
1,
guy.
a left would be like a 3.
A single character.
Yeah,
So why UDP?
because of Ray.
Oh,
It's low latency.
it's wasteful.
It's
Why
very low
not?
latency.
Okay, because
What's that?
It's
UDP,
low latency.
Ray,
Well, you're using it, I think, are you using MQTT?
only for
the
the
telemetry?
only for the display.
Okay.
So the robot is sending an MQTT packets up.
Yeah.
Everything is contained within JSON. So both the MQTT string and the UDP string is all a JSON file. So there's less than 200 characters being sent over UDP, but I don't really know how. It's like a lot less, but I think I've got it set so it could send a lot more. The MQTT, it's actually sending two. It's sending one to a robot that the display is first listened to, and get the IP address and the name of the robot. And then this remote, well, both remotes actually unsubscribe from listening to that stream and resubscribe to just listening to the name of the robot. So it's publishing. It's always publishing its IP address. So if another display comes up online, or you wanted to go to a desktop computer or something and watch the stream, it's always publishing where it's actually located at and what stream to actually listen to. But that stream, that's pretty useless stream really once the display comes up. Then the other MQTT string, if you watch the displays while it's moving, it'll update. Yeah, see, it's got too much. So
Get your hand in front of it, see if that
Well, my barrier didn't work.
it never comes out of
It's backing up, it's not looking.
Hello.
Right.
yeah.
Hello, Elvis. Anything?
So now it stopped. So I don't think racing. So if you look at that,
I've been gone.
so
How fast are the updates? So he's moving his hand. Are you seeing the
Well,
numbers
right-
change on the fly?
it looks like it's reconnecting to the.
Okay.
Is it actually updating over there, Ray?
136, 85, 72 are no.
So RR means reverse.
No. Nothing.
Yeah. See, I think the battery on that thing must be dying.
That's our fallback from the router. Bad router.
Does the router have batteries?
Somewhere.
The Hutu verse.
Yeah, Hutu router with batteries. Battery backup.
See, there's no display.
18650. I got more of these if you want them.
I had it charged up last night, but turn it off and turn it back on, Ray.
It's off, it's off, it's off, it's on. No, it's not.
So last time you were connected to a public MQTT broker somewhere?
Yeah.
MQTTRS.com.
I was connected to Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Go forward.
Do I have to hold the buttons down while I put it on or something?
No,
It's dead then.
In hyperflog.
Looks like me.
I'm getting busy.
so this is another known issue.
Known issue.
Not documented.
In Tasmanian double nose.
Notice how accurately it's circling.
Yeah, it's not. Staying right on
It
point.
should shift if it were imperfect.
It's doing it as
It's
good as
come nuts and
Dorothy
red bigger
Hale,
than
man,
that.
doing it on the ice skating rink.
If you hold it, it'll start sending
Hundreds.
almost instantly, and then that has to catch up. So when you're
It has to read through hundreds.
when you let go, you think you've let go,
And it's still going.
and it's still
It's
going.
still going. There's
So
UTP packets are going.
there's a fine line there to hitting the button once or hitting the button 3 dozen times.
Buffering all the
Yeah.
commands.
With different number strings or packets.
Are you doing a key debounce in software?
Yeah.
You can probably put
No,
a
maybe
delay in there.
after sending a command, you stay blind for this.
So you have to say, don't care about that packet. Don't care about that packet. I'll take this one. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. I'll take this one.
I am actually throwing away a bunch of packets. I actually, because if I did, it would have flooded and it would have just
Locked up.
Well, the problem is that you're probably receiving 3, 4, 5 packets while you're trying to process one packet. So what you can do is to see, is the next packet exactly the same? Is the next packet exactly the same? Get rid of it.
If you have a buffer, you empty the buffer until the buffer's gone, and then use the last one.
That's what I did. There's a way to clear the buffer, and I don't know if it's working the way I think it is or not. I told it, I said, clear buffer, clear buffer, clear
Can
buffer.
use the release button as a command.
I was watching GDP packets come through onto the iPad,
Release.
and they were coming through faster than I could read, faster than it could be displayed on the iPad.
Yeah.
So I mean, just the letters were just blurring on the display. So
That's
Pretty fast.
That's what I found too. So if I
that's what I
did,
wanted. I don't want the slow stuff like HTTP.
If-
Here, I'll take one another 6 seconds.
if I took the
Or we
delays
copy
out
my
on
GitHub
this and I took the timing that I put it into this, it would flood instantly, and then it would just, it never recovers from being flooded, basically.
Okay.
So it works.
That's a problem I have to look forward to.
Yeah.
Or whoever I hired to do that. Leroy.
It's it's an interesting problem because you've got to keep track of at least the last packet and probably the first packet so that you could do something. But my solution was just to slow this thing down so that it doesn't send as much.
You can't always control the other person's communication device.
But that was my solution, was to just slow this thing down. So, he's got a laptop.
It'd be relatively easy to make it not do anything as long as it's receiving. When it gets only pay attention to the last packet after a half-second pause.
Upside down, I think.
Sort of what I was doing, sort of. Plug that in and let Ray, because I know Ray would be interested in seeing what I'm actually sending. Maybe. I think everybody else has kind of seen it.
Oh, okay. It was booting, and then I turned it off. Oh, yeah. Distance is updating distance continually. The CT. I had an accident earlier today, or earlier this week, and my right eye is just really messed up, guys.
CT is the encoder count for motor 1 and motor 2.
Oh. Encoder command or encoder count?
The count.
Okay.
I'm
So
not,
then the direction is SF, R,
SS would be stop for both motors.
reverse, forward. I get it. Stop, reverse, forward. Okay. Then ID, is that who's sending commands?
ID would be the robot,
Oh, okay.
and the IP address is that of the robot, not of the display.
Okay.
What's decoding the encoder?
What's decoding the encoder?
How are you doing it?
Oh!
You actually have an encoder.
Yes. It's
Is
actually,
anything reading the encoder?
yes,
Well, you're displaying it, right?
yes. So there's
You could be
two.
faking it. Sorry.
It says 00 when it stopped. How can I fake it?
Sorry.
There's 2 interrupts. These are the quadrilateral encoders. So there's
Quadrature.
there's 2 interrupts. As soon as one of the interrupts fires, I read the second pin. I look to see if that's high or low, and then I know if it's going forward or backwards.
Okay. Compared to previous state. Okay.
But you're doing this on the ESP8266?
I'm doing it on the robots.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But the only
D1.
processor on there is the ESP8266, right? Okay.
Correct.
The
So
D1.
basically, I am at the limit of processor pins. There are, I think there's one more left that I can use, and there's one analog pin.
Why didn't you use it?
So for the two sides, since one motor is reversed, are you taking clock off the one and data off the other as the clock source?
Yeah, yeah. One's they're opposite of each other. Yeah. So if
I was just curious, were you reversing one in code or
Yeah,
just a wire?
I could have reversed it on the wire, but I did in the code. I mean, half dozen one way or the other, really. I did in the code. And now that I've actually got a board wired, it's pretty much going to stay in the code. Actually, when I set and I drew it all out, my little pencil sketch of it, I had it reversed on the motor, and then when I wired it up the first time, I didn't reverse it.
Yeah.
So I just fixed it with the software.
Many, many, many issues have been fixed in software.
I see you're using a perf board.
Yeah.
Did you try this first with a breadboard, a mini breadboard?
Little tiny, the little teeny tiny breadboard that I used was just for ground, so I could get more ground.
Okay.
No, I actually just plugged DuPont wires into it and was done.
So, I mean, the reason I'm asking this is that I've got that little hex bug, and when you think about putting a breadboard on it, and it's sitting there going, you know, it's vibrating, and I'm sure it's going to knock stuff out of the breadboard.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just sitting there bouncing around, chattering around so much.
So no, I plugged, you know, the D1 Mini has got the headers on it. I just plugged everything directly into it. Verified that everything worked, and then 3 days ago I set and moved everything from that to the perf board. And then I said, this one is dirty too, because it just had like 5 wires just hanging around. And I had the scrap left over, so I made it. Okay. And if you really look real close at this, it's not the right size at all. I mean, it's hanging over and it's missing 2 pins on both sides. It's really just not the right size. But for what I need it for, it works just fine.
One of the problems with the breadboard is the vibration, they seem to handle it pretty well. No. But you bump them and you pull the wire out of place. Yeah, you strip stuff out of place. This is pretty much bulletproof.
Yeah, it's anti-vibration, definitely.
And you're not going to bump it and get out of place. As long as it's in place, in position, you're good.
It's a whole lot cleaner look too. It just looks.
So right now the distance is pretty consistent in the 60s and stuff. When it was sitting on the table before, it was bounced around between 60s and 300s.
Yeah.
300 probably when it doesn't see anything.
So I am taking
too far.
300 is too far because the thing says 200 is the max. So if it says 300, there's something not right.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Why did you solder it upside down? I see.
Because I didn't have double-sided perf board.
I'm looking at that and I'm saying wire wrap tools would have been really nice.
Don't mess with it, Ray.
But I was not born in 1960.
I was, but it'd be really clean.
Wire wrap. I actually considered wire wrap.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wire wrap would work really good for what I want to do here.
I've got about 50 spools of Kynar insulated wire if you ever need it.
I've never even done it, but I'm sitting there thinking that would work really well for this.
It's a pain to work with them though. or anything else?
So the question, it's taking an average distance, and it's a rolling average.
Okay.
So once it gets so far, when it's in the remote control, it's only using that. If it gets too close, it will stop. So if you're going forward, it will stop at something like
Or something.
6 inches or something like that, or at least it's supposed to stop. And when I had it sitting on the table just doing this, it acted like it was going to be right. When I had it in the semi-autonomous mode, I think at 4 inches or something, I think I changed it a little bit so that it can get a little bit closer to something. But once it sees that number, once it gets too close and it triggers that it needs to stop, it resets the counter right then and backs up, spins around.
Where do you reset the counter?
I reset the,
Quadra encoder counter, that way you know how much you've turned.
no, well, I reset those counters too, but I reset the ping counter. So,
Okay.
because if you keep counting, it's going to, I know it will and it won't, but there was a reason why I did it.
Okay.
If, say it's reading all the time and it's like at 6 inches here, it backs up. So you reset the counter when it spins around to go the opposite direction, so that it just starts fresh again.
Okay.
So that it's always getting more current information.
My apologies, I need to leave early.
Oh, it
Oh,
was
you
very
get
nice
extra
meeting you.
points. Come in late next time, you'll be
Okay.
fine.
If you do the dual interface mode, do an apt-get update first.
Okay.
First.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Nice meeting all of you.
I see
Yeah,
that.
right.
So,
I was just curious because if it's in a narrow hallway,
yeah,
it's going to sit there and bounce back and forth, I would think.
I basically use that same method in my other robots, and I haven't seen it bounce back and forth with those. So this one here really, I haven't let it out on the floor or just to roam around on its own. Because this one is a whole lot faster than any of the other ones. So I've always had it sitting here, but sitting on a cup or something on my table. I haven't noticed it with my other ones, and I would kind of think that this one should act the same as the other one. So.
Cool.
This is basically how I test stuff. It's sitting on my table.
Today you get a good view. Some squirrel up going all over the place.
Can you control the speed of motors, or are they
Not
just
yet.
on or off?
It was one of the things that I would like to do is almost acts like it. It went into.
I was circled when they went back to.
Yeah, it went into autonomous mode. I must have hit the.
Processing a lot of those numbers.
Yeah. Actually, this doesn't look like it's updating anymore. Oh, there it goes. Wait. Yeah, it's updating a lot.
Not updated a lot.
Yeah, the count on the motors is going up like crazy.
MQTT is slow. It's just a slow protocol. And I've noticed that too. It just kind of, I like the idea of having the external displays, but you can't really rely on them that the robot is actually where that display says it is. which is why I built in, why I put, you know, if you get too close to a wall, just stop. Just don't do anything. Just sit there and go. Duh. That's it. That's what I got.
Cynthia, what books did you bring?
Doesn't work. Huh?
What books did you bring?
We went through them earlier.
Sorry.
What books
What
did you
books
bring?
do you have?
Books. The Internet of Things
No, I just picked them from the.
library.
I had that book. Thank you. Stop.
This is good, very good. This is from the guy that creates Arduino, Tom Igor.
I made a instructable on how I actually set up the Raspberry Pi.
A real instructable?
It's right there.
Oh, you're famous now.
Mhm.
We're in the presence.
He's published.
Yes.
I have 13 of them published,
Wow.
and all but 2 have been featured.
Hmm.
I don't know why. But basically, I used a keyboard and a monitor so that I could actually set this thing up right. Because when you make a change to the Wi-Fi, it dropped the Wi-Fi connection on me. I tried to do it through SSH a couple of times, and it kept dropping the Wi-Fi on me. And I was like, that is a pain in the behind. And then I had a problem with the current version of Raspberry, that it just did not like the Wi-Fi adapter on this. And I thought, that is very strange, because Jesse works just fine with it. So I went back to the old Jesse.
I've had a couple of those, and I've
There is
not
one
been
way.
terribly impressed with them.
Like the
Yeah.
zeros.
The regular, the Pi 3 is amazing. Pi 0,
Pi Zero is, other than the fact that it's got the larger pin footprint, it's probably closer to like an A model.
It is, I mean,
Yeah.
the processor is from the Pi 1.
Yeah. So
Pi 3 is a real computer.
Pi 3 is a real computer. And this is still a toy. But it's a $5 toy, so.
Exactly.
yeah, I bought.
Good thing Dave's gone.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be in trouble.
May I try to use the version of May? I am using the September 1 or something like that.
The September one seems to like have a problem. Didn't I send you a link?
May I better try the old one?
Yeah, try the old one. Because the old one seems like it's rock solid with the zero, but this new one, and I Googled it because I kept having problems, and other people were having problems too, and I'm like, oh, the heck with it. I'm not going to go through all that just to get this stupid thing working when it's not going to connect to the internet. So I don't care if it's secure or up to date. Who cares? It's going to do what I want it to do. You know, this is its own independent little thing, and you know, that was my thing. It's not connected to the internet or anything else. And even though there are ways around the way that I set up the DNS so that it filters the MAC, there are ways around that. For general purposes, it eliminates people won't think, well, I could clone the MAC address or whatever. Yeah. So you know, it'll keep the general people out. It won't keep people that actually know something out.
Reasonably secure.
I mean, it's not terribly secure. I don't even have a password on it.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not worried
Why not
about it.
add a password? I mean, then you wouldn't even need to mess with the MAC addresses.
Well, I still would want to keep, because let's say we're at a competition or something. Not that I would be at a competition with this, but let's say we were and we wanted to do something, and there were a bunch of us that were doing Wi-Fi robots. You'd want to keep other ones out of your
But if you
access
have a
point.
password and they don't know the password, they can't get in.
There's still ways around that. I'd still set it up with even if I was doing a password, I'd still filter the MAC addresses. That's just me. I'm just nuts like that. And it's easy to do. You just tell it.
Yeah.
Only accept these MAC addresses. Give this MAC address to IP blah, 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 and give this MAC address and reject everything else.
But how do you initially connect to it?
Well,
Do you have to be wired to it in order to identify the MAC address?
The MAC addresses of the ESP8266s,
Yeah.
or the MAC addresses. So there's sketches that tell you the MAC addresses for the
Yeah.
8266s.
Yeah, I got that part.
So you just use those to get that.
Yeah, but let's say I'm using my cell phone and I want to control
So
the 8266, and so the 8266 needs to know my cell phone's MAC address, so it only wants to listen to those commands.
it's not the 8266 that you're filtering. It's the Raspberry Pi that you're filtering on.
Okay.
This connects to this. This connects to this. That other thing connects to this.
Everything's connecting to that.
This is like the
Gateway.
access point, yeah.
Access point gateway. Okay.
So everything's connecting to that. You look confused, right?
No, I'm trying to simplify it, where it's just a cell phone and the robot.
And you'd have a slightly different.
Well, the access point, well, other than running MQTT, I mean,
That's
you run the access point on the robot.
Right, you said that you don't want Bluetooth because the distance, or what was the reason?
Oh no, you're talking about Bluetooth. No, I'm trying to steer away from Bluetooth because the main reason I'm trying to steer away from Bluetooth is because iPhones and iPads,
You say that.
they have
I remember.
issues with the protocol of Bluetooth. So we're steering away from that. And you use Wi-Fi, you have longer distance, faster rates.
Universal.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to see.
You're absolutely
No, I'm
right.
not
The
gonna
reason
do
I
that.
did this
Communications
was for
following
MQTT.
2 megapixel camera.
Okay, if I could take it.
So he's right. The reason why I set up an access point in the first place was for MQTT.
Yeah, I get that.
To get sensor data and everything else.
And to be able to host it on people who are watching. For people who are watching, not just between the controller and the robot. Now you're able to stream that information to other devices, including this thing. You want this back now?
Yes, I'm putting stuff away.
Okay. If I can take a moment to ask, I'm expecting that Leroy will show up on Saturday for a little while, maybe. Jim, are you gonna stop by?
Yeah,
For a pizza?
Okay.
maybe,
I'll be down to Oakley.
maybe for a bit.
Okay, the reason I'm asking who else might be there is, I'm buying pizza. I need to know how much to buy. I don't want to eat pizza Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Kids and
What's
wife
wrong
and
with
everybody.
You
Double
have kids,
pizza.
okay? That's
How
that's
many
a
chillins
wasteful
do you have?
I have 3 chillins at my house.
Okay.
And they'll eat plenty of that pizza. But I'm sure the brownies will disappear first.
Yeah. So you gonna go, Steve?
This is the address?
Yeah, it's 1320 Oak Drive. Yeah. that's
It's on the meeting announcement too.
I try to be there unless a couple of hours.
Smith Park, yes.
Do they still fly planes out of Hook?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they every day they're dropping parachutists. Most of the chutes open.
And most of
Most
them.
of them open.
Usually.
Would you like me to bring this, or do you want to just stay away from other?
Oh no, I'm sure people would love to see what other options, what other things are out there. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll bring this.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of cool, even though it's not one of yours.
That's all right. I'm not. Damn it, don't bring it. No, damn it. No,
With the cup.
it would be very nearsighted of anyone to not open their eyes and see what other stuff is out there, because you want to be able to learn from the community. And then as soon as I integrate something from their robot, they'll sue me for some kind of copyright.
They look like they've made that platform so that you don't have to use their controller or.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just a generic platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Their controller's expensive too,
If I bring
for
it
that
back,
stupid
I
thing.
two in the minis.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
I haven't been there. I haven't been out there in a while.
I haven't hosted anything for a while, but we are really well cleaned up now, and got a whole bunch of tables and stuff just set up ready for Saturday. So everybody has plenty of space to sit down. And
If I didn't have something scheduled, I'd be there. I may call off and show up, but I probably won't eat much pizza, so.
Yeah, I'll be out of town Saturday.
So sure. This weekend was really intended towards those students, and I was hoping that probably 2 or 3 weeks from now to invite the club to have a meeting at my shop with open time afterwards to show off more stuff, to use the lasers, to build your robot or whatever.
You're thinking of a Thursday meeting?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
A Thursday meeting, just instead of having it here, have it
Have it up there.
at my place.
Sure.
I'll have a table and projector and everything, so we can still have it. I won't have a nice 47-inch television for display.
Well,
Projector. It's on the ceiling.
Same thing.
It'll be good.
Just the projectors do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're constantly working on making things better over the shop. We've got the whole drop ceiling in the demonstration room, all the new lighting, and stuff done. Lots of bright, shiny faces.
You still gonna have that spot where people can come in and keep their stuff there?
You're talking about like
Offers or something?
Yeah,
I
we talked about a few months ago.
well, the main building where we're going to be at this weekend is Rabbit Lays USA,
Okay.
and that's 10,000 square foot. The building next door to it is 2,500 square feet, and I'm still renovating that building in my spare time. And it's going to be some offices, cubicle spaces for what I want is for rabbit robots to grow big enough to be in there.
Yeah.